Hi everybody, I'm Sarah Ockwell-Smith and welcome to my latest SOS parenting video. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about ending lockdown and how to help our babies, our toddlers and our older children when we get to meet with more people again and sort of get into different social situations again. And I also understand for those of you who've had a baby since March 2020 that it's quite possible that your baby actually hasn't met a lot of your even extended or closer family yet. So just want to spend a little bit of time talking about how it might be for them. So I think a lot of us are going to have such high expectations of all the wonderful gatherings and parties and finally hugging our relatives again. But I think what we need to do is to think about actually for our children, how that actually may end up causing them some anxiety, some more separation anxiety, and they may be simply overwhelmed with the new people, even though they're people that they maybe have been chatting to regularly online, Zooming, FaceTiming and so on. Actually meeting in real life is a whole other ball game. So really, I think what we need to do is to put ourselves in our child's position. So whether you've got a baby who has never actually met relatives or friends in person, whether you have a toddler who maybe was a baby the last time they met them, or you have an older child, what we need to do is to understand actually how huge that is in their world, and how that even if they met them as a baby or toddler, maybe they're not going to remember them when they're older, or maybe they do remember them, but it is simply overwhelming. So what you're likely to see when you do get together for those all important barbecues, or we're allowed in people's houses again, or we have parties, is you're going to find a really overwhelmed baby, toddler, preschool or older child. You'll probably see more tantrums, you'll probably see more violent behavior, things like biting and kicking, maybe more whining, maybe more sulking. Anything basically in terms of behavior I think is really, really normal and to be expected. And they're not being naughty, they're not being ungrateful, they're just saying, Mum, Dad, help, this is simply overwhelming. I don't know this person, I don't yet feel safe with this person. It doesn't mean that they'll never love them, it doesn't mean that the bond won't grow, it absolutely will, but it's going to take time. And until that time happens, expect lots of big feelings and big emotions from your child. Expect them to be clingy, expect them to be shy, expect them to not want to go and hug their grandparents or their aunts and their uncles, expect them to cry when their grandparents and aunts and uncles and everybody else hugs them and holds them. Again, it doesn't mean that they don't love them, it doesn't mean that there's a permanent damage to that bond, it just means that it's going to take time. And I think maybe rather than trying to change our children here, it's us as adults who need to reset our expectations. So for any grandparents out there watching who maybe haven't met or held your grandchild in arms yet, please don't feel bad or don't worry that there's something wrong if they cry the whole time that you actually see them, if they run back to their mum or their dad's arms and don't want to spend time with you. It just is overwhelming for them. They have that close primary bond with their primary caregivers, normally their mum or their dad, and that's who they feel safest when they're with. So they're going to want to run back and hide behind their legs and not kind of shy away from you and stuff like that. And it really, really isn't an indication of what's going to happen in the long term. The best thing we can do is not try to coax them away or bribe them away or say, oh, come on, don't be silly for being shy. I'm your grandparent, or I'm your aunt or uncle, or I'm your godmother, or whatever it is like that. It's more important that we reset our expectations, say, okay, this is such a big deal for you. I know you may have seen me over the screen. And I know that, if you're talking about a 4 or 5 year old, you had a close relationship with them beforehand. Just reset that expectation and just keep reminding yourself of this is so normal. What I need to do is to work at this child's pace, and that's probably going to be slower than you would like. If your mums and dads watching, it's not probably going to be the wonderful, great big everybody hugging and just having a wonderful day that you're expecting. You're probably going to get a lot of difficult behavior, a lot of big feelings, maybe some sleep regressions when you get back home. So reset your expectations of what it's going to look like when your child is reintroduced. If you're talking about having a baby who's not yet met anybody, Don't worry if the baby is unhappy if it's out of your arms. It's not a problem. That bond will grow in time. The best thing to do is just to hold on to your baby and keep them in your arms if that's where they're happiest, but keep on with that sort of reintroducing people, and eventually your baby absolutely will be happy to be held by the relatives and friends, but you're just not there quite yet. So baby steps, reset those expectations, expect lots of big things, but no punishment or chastising or anything like that. Just understand how difficult and strange it is for your child, but buckets and buckets full of patience. These bonds and this connection will happen in time. Until then, don't try to force away any shyness or anything like that. Work at your child's pace and just, for you, enjoy being back with your loved ones again. Thanks, and I hope that helped.